Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of Presentation and Portfolio, presented by 20373 RMS Chimera. Today, we're going to be talking about the presentation part. And in that, we're going to be talking about the different styles you can have for your presentation, the formal interview in front of judges, the Q&A part, and pit judging, or an informal interview. There are many different formats that can work for your presentation, including a display board and poster, a PowerPoint slide, or just talking and demonstrating your robot. If you choose to do a display board or poster, you're not limited to one board. You could always have more than one. And in that, you don't only have to have, say, for example, PowerPoint slides. You could always have a PowerPoint presentation and a display board, or a PowerPoint presentation and talking and demonstrating your robot. Any amount of these would work. A display board isn't required, but it's definitely recommended. And if you do choose to do one, typical contents include your team name and number, team photo, robot design, scoring strategy, outreach, and sponsors. It's really helpful for both pit judges and for other teams because it helps to illustrate key design elements or outreach. And for alliance partners, they can see what to expect from your team if your robot isn't there when they stop by. Along with your display board, you can also bring prototypes, extra pictures, a monitor, team swag, etc. to put on your table, but it's completely optional. Here are some examples of display boards. Please pause the video and take a minute to look at them. If you're doing a slideshow or PowerPoint presentation, it's really important to use lots of pictures and diagrams. You want to try and eliminate as much plain text as you can. Most of what you're going to want to tell the judges, it will be spoken, not on your slides. Make sure it's also not too flashy or too boring, and that it's clear and easy to understand. The main use of the slideshow is going to be during the formal interview. It's really important to emphasize big and important parts. And another really important thing is to try and limit the amount of slides you have. Use as many slides as you need to explain what you want to say. You can have one slide per outreach event if you really need to, and that's totally okay. This is an example of a bad slideshow. As you can see, the slideshow is really bland and plain. There's not much color to it. There are also lots of spelling and grammar mistakes, and it's in a really basic font. In the bottom with the table, there's also a lot of overlapping text, and this overall slide is very text heavy. There's not a good balance of pictures to text. This, on the other hand, is a good example of a slideshow. There are no spelling or grammar mistakes, and it's not in a basic font. There's variation of color and a font size. There's also a lot of diagrams, and it's not too text heavy. This is a good example of an outreach slide, because it emphasizes big numbers, and that's really the only text on this slide. The amount of people it reached and the amount of money earned. The rest is just pictures and videos. The next thing we'll be talking about is a formal interview. It happens at the beginning of a tournament when your entire team is present. There will be 2 to 3 judges waiting for you in a room, and there are adults that aren't associated with any team at the event. There are also volunteers. They could be experts or they could have never seen FTC before. The interview itself is 5 minutes long, and it's uninterrupted time for your team to present. Some judges might cut you off at a harsh 5 minutes, so please be prepared for that. After your presentation, there's a 5 minutes Q&A time, when judges ask your team questions related to software, hardware, or outreach. Your performance in your interview determines who your pit judges are. Some tips for your formal interview are that everybody should speak briefly, even if they don't speak for the same amount of time. It's also really important to memorize your lines and to practice. And while you're in the room, presenting to judges, you should also point to things on your robot when describing them. It makes it easier for judges to visualize. In the end, your goal is to be clear and easy to understand for someone who has just met your team. Also, don't worry if you mess up. The judges don't know your presentation, but you do, so keep that in mind. During Q&A, judges can ask you questions on anything, and I mean literally anything. But they typically stick to robot design, outreach, team dynamics, and what you learned throughout the season. It's really important that you practice answering to some of these questions. You can find practice questions online. You should also try to delegate. Assign everybody on your team a category of questions based on their expertise. Leads, or the most experienced team members, should be reserved for only the most challenging questions, or as a catch-all for questions that don't fit into an assigned category. Not everybody has to answer, but one or two people can't answer every question. The last thing we'll be talking about today is pit judging, or informal presentation. And that is when judges walk around the pit area and talk to teams and ask them questions. The more judges who come by, the more likely you are being considered for an award. Judges are either hardware, software, or outreach specific. So the questions they ask will probably be based on the type of judge they are. Even if only a few team members are there at your table, everybody should be prepared to answer basic questions. It's completely okay to go get a teammate to answer complicated questions though, especially about a particular design or of an area that's not your expertise. One tip is to have a runner at the pit to go and grab the expert on your team after identifying the type of judge they are. Usually judges ask questions, but you could also give them a short presentation on about one or two impressive things that your team did that you want the judges to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned from it. And a special thanks to teams Autobots and Rust in Peace for posting excellent display boards online. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.